Hello and welcome to Scholar Edu UTME Press Series, where we provide relatively detailed solutions and explanation to the UTME questions. And in this recording, we are looking at the UTME questions for biology for the year 2015. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos. And you can also visit our website at collab.com to practice UTME exam for free. And we also have modular quizzes on the site. Question number 1. Which of the following has the most primitive respiratory system? The correct answer is fish. So fish, they are aquatic organisms, and aquatic organisms, they are the foremost in terms of evolution. Okay, so they are foremost before the terrestrial organisms or animals. So fishes have the most primitive respiratory system, if the word primitive here has to do with precedence in time. Question number 2. One adaptation shown by hydrophytes in freshwater habitats is the correct option is the poor development of roots and xylem tissues. So hydrophytes are plants that grow in aquatic habitats, okay, or areas where you have abundance of water. Now, one of the characteristic, okay, of this plants is that they usually have poorly developed roots and xylem tissue. So what the roots primarily functions in is in obtaining water from the soil, okay, that the plant uses in photosynthesis, while the xylem tissue is one of the conducting tissues in the plants, and what it does is that it carries water or dissolve ions. Okay, it carries it from the root to the upper part of the plant, from the root to the shoot. Okay, now in the case of the hydrophyte, because they are in the water, right, most times, in fact, some of their parts like their leaves are even submerged in the water, so they don't necessarily need an highly developed transport system or conducting tissue or roots. So hydrophytes, they have poorly developed roots and xylem tissues. Question 3. Which of the following use diffusion as the principal method of gaseous exchange? The earthworm uses diffusion as a means of respiration. Question 4. The theory which supports the view that the large muscles developed by an athlete will be passed on to the offspring was proposed by Lamarck. So Lamarck was the one that proposed the idea of what we call the use and disuse, okay, of traits. And what that suggests is that the trait that, let's say, the parent of an organism has, okay, that the offspring, okay, would have that same trait. For example, that means that if a father, for example, is athletic, right, what that theory implies is that the son or the daughter of such a father is also going to be athletic. So this is a theory that does not have a genetic background, but that idea of inheritance of traits, okay, traits that are developed, traits that are not originally there genetically, that were developed, okay, it was proposed by Jean Lamarck. Question 5. The chromosomes of members of the kingdom Monera are within the Monera, they are bacteria, they are mostly bacteria, and the bacterias, they are prokaryotic, and their chromosomes are usually located in the cytoplasm. Okay, the prokaryotic organisms, they do not have a well-defined nucleus. In eukaryotic organisms, the chromosome is usually situated in the nucleus, but in prokaryotic organisms that do not really have a well-defined nucleus, the chromosomes are found in the cytoplasm. Question 6 on ecology. The mangrove swamp in Nigeria is restricted to the tropical rainforest. Question number 7. The pancreas secretes enzymes for the digestion of for the digestion of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So the pancreas, it secretes the pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes that function in the digestion of carbohydrates, protein. Question 8 on microorganism. The causative agent of bird flu is a. The bird flu, also known as avian flu, is caused by a virus. Question 9. A water medium is necessary for fertilization in ferns. Ferns require water medium for fertilization. Next question, question 10. An example of a sex-linked trait is the. So, sex-linked traits or characters refers to the specific patterns of inheritance and presentation when a gene mutation is present on a sex chromosome. And one of such sex-linked traits is the possession of facial hair in adult humans. The possession of facial hair in adult humans is an example of this. We have our website at Collab.com where you could practice exams for free, the UTME exam and the post-UTME exam. It also features modular quizzes in physics, chemistry, and biology. So if you've studied a topic in any of the subjects and you want to test your understanding of the topic, you can head on to our website at Collab.com and take modular quizzes for free. Also, if you sign up on the website, it has a personalized dashboard where you could use to check your progress in learning. We also have interactive sessions on the website and on our social media platform. Freebies are also available to top performance on the website. Question 11 on ecology. In which of the following Nigerian states can montane vegetation be found? It can be found in Plateau. Question 12. Which of the following is true of cloning? The cell, the clone, that is produced is similar to, but not exactly like the original organism. It is similar to the original organism, but it is not exactly like that organism. Question 13 on skeletal system and supporting support system. The process of shedding the exoskeleton of an arthropod is known as ecdysis. So in organisms that have exoskeleton like ants, and arthropods, so growth in such organism is by what we call ecdysis or molting. That ecdysis or molting, what it means is the removal of the old exoskeleton, because the material of the exoskeleton is a non-living matter, so it does not grow. The organism cannot keep expanding with that same exoskeleton. So what it does is that at the point where it is supposed to grow, or when a particular point in time is reached, that the organism is supposed to increase in size, it sheds off the old exoskeleton, and new ones begin to grow on that organism. Question 14. Which of the following is a major cause of constipation in humans? The lack of roughage in a diet can contribute to constipation. Constipation is a symptom of intestinal obstruction, and one of the characteristics of it is that a person who suffers from constipation, they are going to have serious issues with stooling. They're going to have difficulty in stooling. So adding roughages to food, to diet, it helps with. Question 15. In mammals, the organ directly on top of the kidney is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is the hormonal gland which secretes the hormone adrenaline. The adrenaline is an hormone that functions, we call it the emergency hormone. It functions in terms of emergency, or in a fight or fight situation where an organism needs to respond to something, responds to an emergency. Next question on genetics and hereditary. An accurate identification of a rapist can be carried out by conducting a DNA analysis can be used to determine the rapist. So a DNA analysis of the resulting child from that incident, and the accused person can be used to identify the rapist. If the result turns out positive, that means that the accused person is the father of that child or the mother, and is the rapist. As next question, adaptation. An example of a fish that activates is the lungfish. The lungfish activates. So activation is a situation where an organism goes into a state of dormancy or inactivity. That is, the organism becomes inactive, okay, becomes dormant and inactive for a period of time. And the essence of that is basically to save energy. And again, because of the fact that the organism does not really have, most times such organisms, they do not have access to resources like food and water, so they have to conserve the little that they have, okay. And sometimes this thing is adaptive feature is needed in a situation where the organism is in an habitat where there are times of scarcity and times of abundance, okay. So during the time of scarcity, the organism activates, like goes into a state of inactivity. Question 18 on cell and its environment. The opening and closing of the stoma are regulated by osmosis. Osmosis regulates the opening of the gut cells. And you can also join our online tutorial classes for different classes. We have tutorials for students in SS1, 2 or 3. We also have for UTME candidates, for JAMB candidates, for students who want to write the JAMB or the UTME exam, and for those who want to have the post-UTME exam after the UTME exam, and also for candidates that are sitting for WAEC exam or GCE or NECO. And we offer this tutorial on various platforms, so you could join us on WhatsApp or on Telegram, you could be on Zoom or on Google Classroom. So we have various platforms where we take our tutorial. The links to join the platform are available on our website at collab.com, or you could also check it out in the video description below. Question 19 on microorganism. Which of the following is common to mosquito, housefly, and black fly? They are all parasites. Now these three organisms, the mosquito, the housefly, and the black fly, they are vectors. What that means is that they carry what we call the causative organisms. The causative organisms, they are those organisms that cause diseases, okay. They cause diseases. So each of these organisms here, the mosquito, the housefly, and the black fly, they are carriers or vectors of causative organisms that can, Question 20 on living organism. The organs that will be most useful to giant African rats in finding their way in underground habitat are the vibrissae is used in rats for navigation, for finding their way. Okay, the next question requires calculation. A crucible of 5 gram weighed 10 gram after filling with fresh soil. It is then heated in an oven at 100 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. After cooling the desiccator, the weight was 8 gram. The percentage of water in the soil is. Alright, so let's start with some of the information that we have in the question. So the mass of the crucible is 5 gram, okay, and the mass of the crucible and the fresh soil after it was filled with fresh soil is 10 gram. So what we do here is calculate the mass of the fresh soil. The mass of the crucible alone is 5 gram. Of the crucible and the fresh soil is 10 grams. So how do we get the mass of the fresh soil? We subtract the mass of the crucible from the mass of the crucible and the fresh soil. So we have 10 minus 5, and that is 5 grams. So that means that the mass of the fresh soil is 5 grams. Okay. Now, after that soil was heated, right? After it was heated, the weight became in a desiccator. Okay. After cooling in the desiccator, its weight was 8 grams. Right. So what we are trying to do here is to calculate the mass of the water in the soil. Now, heating the crucible eating that crucible, what that is going to do is it is going to it's like roasting the soil, and that will result in the evaporation of the water in the soil. That is, the water in that fresh soil, they will leave, they will evaporate. So the mass of the crucible and the dry soil now without the water is 8 gram. So the mass of the crucible plus the soil, okay, the fresh soil which still has water in it, is 10 gram. Of the crucible with dry soil without the water is 8 gram. So that means that the mass of the water in that crucible, okay, that left after eating will be 10 minus 8, and that is 2 gram. So then the percentage of water in the soil is going to be equal to the mass of the water over the mass of that fresh soil. So the mass of the water here is 2 grams, and the mass of the fresh soil is what we've gotten here, that's 5 grams. So we have 2 over 5, and that is a 0.4. Is 0.4, which is of course 40%. So from the option, the correct option here will be question 22 on excretory system. The waste product of plants used in the conversion of hide to leather is the tannin. The tannin is used to convert leather to hide. Question 23 on excretion and hemostasis. The correct sequence of the movement of urea during urine formation is, okay, so during urine formation, which occurs in the kidney, the fluid goes from the glomerulus, okay, from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule, from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule. From the Bowman capsule, it goes into the convoluted tubule, okay, and from the tubule to the Henle's loop, and finally to the collecting tubule. So we have the glomerulus, from the glomerulus to the Bowman's capsule, to the convoluted tubule, to the Henle's loop, and finally to the convoluted tubule. Question 24. In lizards, the lowering of the gular fold is used to in the attraction of mates. It is used to attract mates and to dissuade enemies. Question 25. The photosynthetic pigments include the chlorophyll and carotenoids are photosynthetic pigments in plants. The chloroplast in green plants contains the chlorophyll that functions in photosynthesis. Some plants that do not have the chlorophyll, they have other structures, okay, or other organelles that function like the chromosome, and this includes the carotenoids and the xanthophylls. Okay, don't forget to check out our playlists. We have different playlists. We have for full solutions to UTME or JAMB questions and in physics, chemistry, and biology. We also have for modular quizzes as well. Okay, we'll also have a playlist for post UTME or post JAMB exam, and also for crash courses in physics, chemistry, and biology. So don't forget to check out our playlist for the available videos. So that's it for this recording. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Collab. Okay, like and share our content, and visit our website at collab.com to practice UTM exam and modular quizzes for free. Thank you.